this thing on.
Hey guys, so welcome to our last vlog of 2015.
This week we're going to be talking about our investigations on the 18th and 19th of December.
These are our last two investigations before the new year comes in. We've got a lot of exciting stuff coming in 2016, but we got to wrap up 2015 first. And this is a really great weekend to wrap up on because we've had some crazy stuff. On Friday night, we had such a good group. They were small, but they were really excited. And at the end of our rules, whenever we're about to head into our investigation, we always say, all right, guys, we have to have fun, participate. That's how we get the activity to happen. And we had a really great night on Friday night.
Even before the investigation started, one of our group members, Wyatt, had seen some strange activity.
Someone in the group saw a black mass and then a gray mass toward the stage. So we were really excited to get into the balcony and start investigating.
So we were up on the balcony, and I was up towards the back of the balcony, up against the back wall.
Once we got up there, we set up a lot of equipment, including a black light, a laser grid, all kinds of things so that we could try to maybe see something on the stage. So we were all lined up at the front of the balcony, just kind of focusing our efforts toward the stage and trying to communicate with what might be up there, when all of a sudden two group members at the same time kind of freaked out.
Just behind the piano was like just this black kind of left to right.
What's funny is I thought I saw one of those lights black out earlier, but I thought it was just me blinking. And it was kind of by like the leg.
Mm-hmm.
Under the piano?
Sorry, that was my leg.
Yeah, see where that green light is to the left of the low side of the piano? It was just like kind of a black sweep.
Ghost Kitty. I'll make up my own Ghost Kitty song.
If the piano starts playing, I will go down there and sing the Ghost Kitty song. Playing the
Oh my
Ooh,
God.
you hear that?
You just need some ghost
Play the piano.
catnip.
For any spirits down there, if you play that piano, Connor will go sing.
Did you see that on the right side?
I totally just saw that. You saw that shadow, right?
Yeah, right on the right side.
Just to the right of the light bulb.
Yeah, in front.
It darted right in there.
Yeah.
We both saw that. That was awesome.
But was it was a shadow. Right
That was a
over the
black
bulb.
shadow.
Yeah.
It was the size of a person.
Yeah, and went right to the right through.
From the right of the black light bulb.
Yeah, it was just like all of a sudden, boom.
And it darted right
Yeah.
in.
A couple of people saw what they described to me as a profile of a figure on the stage. Now, they were in a doorway and appeared to be about 4 feet tall.
Now, I was sitting toward the right of the balcony, so I couldn't see it because the way they saw it, it was at an angle. So, of course, I'm like, what's happening? What's happening? And I'm so mad that I missed it because when two people see it, it makes it pretty credible.
It was a freestanding shadow.
Yeah.
Like how tall?
At least 5 feet.
And of course, I actually had my camera in my hands. I was recording video. It was pointed at the stage, in focus, and I was about 5 feet away from the proper angle that it should have been.
I went down there after this happened so we could sort of estimate the height based on my height. Now, I'm a pretty tall guy, but it seemed as though whatever was going on was about 2 feet shorter than me.
About there. Oh yeah, you can see a lot more. Right about there, maybe a little bit higher. Too high.
So we think that this figure, or whatever this shadow apparition that happened, was around 4 feet tall.
It was witnessed by two people in the group, and they described it the exact same way. So I do think that it's a very valid story, but as these things go, of course, we didn't capture it on video.
It appeared on the stage while we were running a black light. Now, this is the first time that we've actually run a black light up on the stage. We're doing more tests, considering that infrared lighting hasn't honestly been too successful for us in the past. So we can either investigate with the lights on, and that really is sort of making the visible light spectrum available to us, or we can even go a step further and start getting into black light and possibly more ultraviolet light in the future. I wish I would have been about 5 feet to the left so I could have seen it as well. And I wish Carl would have caught it on camera, but that seems to be the way that these things go. It's pretty strange. Somebody was taking a look at our new equipment. One of the more bizarre things that happened on Friday night was we all went into Lucy's room. Now, you've heard us talk a lot about Lucy's room. I think a lot of you guys who are watching this have been here to experience the room itself. It's bizarre because sometimes it'll completely change on a dime. It'll feel different. The room will appear to get darker. We'll start seeing these bizarre light anomalies that are appearing that we're trying to figure out. That happened tonight.
Personally, I experienced some really odd feelings. It seemed that we would each kind of take turns feeling this heavy, lightheaded, almost nauseated feeling, but it's like it came in waves, and it wasn't really affecting all of us at once. It's like it would kind of swerve through the room, then come back around and lighten up.
So Lucy's room got really weird for us tonight. I'm not necessarily sure what was going on specifically. We're used to that room getting strange. Sometimes it gets darker, sometimes it gets lighter. I don't really know what to think about that myself. But there were a number of strange things that we're seeing tonight, and there was a strange feeling in the room as well.
So tonight there was a bunch of group members on one end of the room, and I sat on the total opposite end. And I was actually sort of in one corner of Lucy's room by myself. Now, frankly, I didn't experience anything. We had a few people feeling themselves getting touched, a few people feeling their hair getting played with.
I just smell that sweet smell.
Okay, just real quick.
It's not Wyatt.
Did I smell sweet?
No, it's not Wyatt.
Brush your head.
Yeah,
He goes, whoa.
that was weird. It was like your spider webs again, but it just went like over like that.
But what happened was we were sitting there and there was a bunch of group members on one end, and suddenly a few people saw a shadow shift right near Carl. Now Carl is on the opposite side of the room to me, and I'm not experiencing any of this. But Carl had some pretty concerned feelings, and to be honest, I heard his voice get a little bit concerned, which is unusual, especially considering how many hours Carl has spent in Lucy's room. Do you have yours?
I got dizzy there for a second.
That one's mine.
You're just older.
I kind of know what you mean. Like, I'm not like dizzy, but it's...
Does it have a white mark on it?
Uh-huh.
It was a quick one, yeah.
It's dead? Blue.
Yeah, like, for a second feels like I'm almost like a little dehydrated, you know? Just like... Now this feeling in the room, for me at least, it struck me in kind of a funny way. And, you know, it had that escalating feeling where first it starts to be an uncomfortable sensation, you feel that heaviness in the chest, and it builds to almost a sense of panic.
It certainly seems like there was some sort of figure or an entity sort of creeping around Lucy's room. It was bizarre.
So a few members of the group actually saw a figure moving right next to me while I was feeling this kind of uncomfortable panic kind of feeling. I didn't see the figure move, but it did move left to right across the bathroom door and actually right towards the seat I was sitting in.
We could head into the main building depending on what everybody's feeling.
Carl, where are you?
Right here.
Is somebody by the opening to the door?
Somebody
Well, what the? Yeah, I just saw that.
would.
Bathroom
It's
door?
like from the left to the right. It looks like something moving really slow past the light.
Right before I asked where you were, I saw... I can't even describe what the hell that was.
The bathroom door?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm seeing Steve.
Yeah.
Well, I thought somebody was just standing in the way.
We would hear Carl stand up.
This is me right here. I don't know if you can see me.
Your arm out?
Yeah, my arm is out waving
Yeah.
right now.
No, that's not what I saw.
What did y'all see?
I just saw just something dark go right slowly across.
Across? Yeah.
Across the gap between the chair and the doorway.
Now, of course, after they point that out, it's kind of hard to trust my feelings at all, because once somebody says that a figure is moving towards you in a dark room, it's easy to let your emotions get carried away at that point. One of those things that was seen by the whole group was at the same time, two of our guests who were sitting next to each other saw this hand move up between them. It was sort of a strange snake-like hand, but they each thought that it was each other. It's one of those classic scenarios in the room where they think that it's something relatively normal and realize that it wasn't either of them.
Is your hand up?
My hand
It
is
just
up.
feels like it's just. It's on my knee right here.
No, there's something right here.
Yeah, did you just see
Yeah,
something right there?
Yeah. I thought you raised your arm and
No.
had it up in front of you.
But I saw it too.
What was it?
It's a...
It was like a dark mass that just moved right
straight up
here.
in front
Like
of
where
my-
his watch is.
Yeah, it was like right up here. And I thought he had his arm bent upward in front of me.
And I saw it too. Like I was gonna ask about the same thing. But
but they described it in the exact same way. They both had the same level of sort of like concern and fear in their voice almost, that led me to think that it wasn't one person just playing off of the other one to try to make the experience cool. I think that it really was something that was objectively happening between them that wasn't either of them. But before that, after that, everything that people in the group was seeing too, Lucy's room was definitely weird. I'm not sure that it was a human presence. I don't think it was negative necessarily by any stretch of the imagination, but it did feel new.
It was a weird night, and it didn't appear to be Lucy, didn't appear to be Eddie or Paul, or any other spirit that we've come across like this before.
We decided to take the group into the women's restroom because we've caught some really cool EVPs in the past in there. So we just decided to try a real quick burst session, and sure enough, some stuff popped up.
It sounds a little bizarre spending time in a women's restroom looking for ghosts, but it's a spot that we've gotten a lot of activity in the past. And so we were sitting around and we do a burst session where I run my audio recorder for a few minutes and then we go back and listen. Some sort of glow-in-the-dark thing was on the floor, and it must have been left over by some guest or some tour or party that happened in the concert hall. And one of our guests got it on his hands, and so he went over to wash his hands during this burst session. While the sink was running, we could hear this whispery voice happening over it.
We tried to recreate the sink noise because we didn't know if we actually caught an EVP or if it was the sink turning on and off.
So you'll hear me say, so we're gonna have Steve walk over and turn the sink back on, and then as Steve's walking over, before he ever turns the sink on, another voice comes in and says, I see.
Actually, it's more like, I see. But I picture is like, I see.
First, we're gonna have Steve walk over and turn the sink on for a few seconds, then turn it back off.
It was a little bit unsettling because I feel like one of the EVPs says, you are dead.
When it went on his pants.
Or you are 10. Not sure, but it was because I had started laughing. And if you remember the last EVP we caught in there, Connor was joking around and then someone told him to stop.
I think you'd spend a Saturday night just sitting in the bathroom, bunch of strangers, in the dark. Yeah, especially a woman about. Stop.
And so it was kind of weird that I started laughing and I was kind of joking around, and then we got, you are dead, you are 10. I'm not really sure what it says, but if it said you are dead, I'm a little bit creeped out.
So they were clearly there with us, observing what was going on, and making a remark about what I was saying. It's pretty cool.
So thank you guys for watching. This wraps up our vlogs for the year 2015. I can't believe the fall's already over and we're about to hit the new year.
We had a lot of really great experiences and we caught some really good evidence.
We've been really happy to have you guys along for sort of the beginning stages of this ride.
We've only got bigger and more exciting things that we can't talk about yet.
2016 is going to be a big year for us, a big year for the Stanley Hotel, and hopefully a big year for the ghosts here as well.
Stay tuned though, we're about to take a little bit of a break for the holidays, but we will have some videos for you guys of some of our best of evidence clips that we've gathered in the last 5 years. So even in the interim, we're gonna have some cool stuff coming your way.
So I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas,
A Happy New Year,
Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.
Merry Festivus to the rest of us.
I'm gonna have a Merry Christmas because Connor got me gummy worms, because he knows I like them. We've got some really awesome stuff coming in 2016. You guys aren't gonna wanna miss it. You gotta stay tuned. But as for now, happy 2015. I don't know. I was like, I don't know.
Go try.
I know, I was like, I don't know. All right, what was it?
No, I think that's perfect.
That happened tonight. The way that it happened was I was sitting on one end of the room. That happened tonight. We had a group That happened tonight. God, that's my segue sentence. Don't judge me. I have a method. Okay. Okay. Get it together. Come on. That happened tonight. God. Okay.
That happened tonight.
The way did it happen tonight? Stop. Stop. Shut. Okay.
You're laughing.
There was a bunch of group members on one end of the. God. It's never happened before.
It's the first of like
Okay.
9 vlogs that we have.
It happened tonight.
That's my segue line. I'm playing this out in my head. So tonight there was a bunch of group members on one end of the room, and I sat on the total opposite end. And I was actually sort of in one corner.